Hey guys, how we doing? So we checked out Giguk's video on anime in 2018, which was a very fun, very nice look back on the year. So I thought, let's check out Mother's Basements as well. And he is titled, this was 2018 anime's best year yet. Let's find out. Tune.
I get my idea fighting! When I started doing my seasonal recommendation list at the end of 2017, my initial intent was to cap off 2018 with a top 10 list of my favorite anime, as well as a report card of sorts, running through the 40 anime that I initially recommended and seeing which of them I wouldn't recommend anymore, because I think it's necessary to temper first impressions-based recommendations with some sort of retrospective review down the line. But as it turns out, there's not much content that I would put on the latter list, just Darling in the Franxx and Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody. And as for the former list, well, I've got the opposite problem. There are 3 close contenders for my anime of the
Planet
year,
Wave was so good.
if we're counting sequels, and over 20 anime that I am seriously considering for my top 10. If you put a gun to my head right now, my top list would be, from 10 to 1, Hinamatsuri, Zombieland Saga, Otokoi, Agretsuko, Gridman, Devilman Crybaby, Bunny Girl Senpai, My Hero Season 3, Planet With, and A Place Further Than the Universe, but hold me up again in like 5 minutes, and my top 4 will have shuffled around, and I'll probably have replaced half that bottom 5.
So much good stuff came out.
Like, I'm already thinking, oh man, maybe Agretsuko should be higher, maybe Castlevania or Violet Evergarden or Review Starlight or Megalobox deserves it over Hinamatsuri and Zombieland Saga. I don't even really feel confident giving that top 10 as a hypothetical. No matter what I do, I end up denying some great cult shows much-deserved exposure and ignoring a few anime that were broadly loved by the community and that I loved myself. And I've fallen behind on a few great shows, namely Hakume and Mikochi, Grand Blue, Yuru Camp, Steins Gate Zero, and Banana Fish, that I'm sure will only make building a concrete list harder once I get around to them. The problem in both these cases, which isn't really a problem at all, is that 2018 was just way too good a year for anime. So good that most of the series I'd list as runners-up this year would easily have made my top 5 back in 2016 or 2017, and every show that I see fitting into my top 10 could have been an Anime of the Year contender most other years. And while this state of affairs has frustrated my efforts to make the end-of-year content that I
must be annoying trying to make a list, be like, no, wait.
Turned this last month into more of a headache than you guys can imagine. Obviously, I'm not exactly upset about it. Having more great anime come out in a year than I can reasonably watch, let alone satisfyingly cover, is the best kind of problem I could possibly
definitely.
have.
There's worse things that have happened.
Of this year, as all of that great anime has continued to pile up, one thought has kept cycling through the back of my mind. The same one that you probably read in some SEO-friendly variation before clicking on this video. Could 2018 be the best year in anime history?
Could it?
This isn't exactly the first time I've tried to answer that question. Going by scripts I've started and scrapped, which date back to early summer, it's the 4th. And those initial scripts suffered because, I mean, I was jumping the gun in trying to predict how the year would shake out based on what had come before and what had already been announced. But mostly they suffered because I didn't know how to answer this question in a satisfactory manner. And honestly, I still don't. I can't exactly watch every anime in existence.
It's hard, isn't it? I try and keep up to date, but my god.
Previous contenders for best year, 2006, 2007, and 2011, not while keeping up with what I have to for work, and even if I did, I'd only ever figure out which year had the most shows suited to my tastes. Tastes that would inevitably change over the course of watching hundreds upon hundreds of TV shows and experiencing life in between that, so at the end of it, I'd probably need to start over anyway. I'd also run into a lot of trouble if I tried to base a conclusion on aggregate ratings from communities like MyAnimeList or Reddit, because while that might seem like a more objective approach on the surface, that would really only reflect what the kind of people who join those communities enjoy. And it only gets more complicated if you consider how arbitrary this question inherently is. Do we really have to start counting the best 365 contiguous days of anime at the start of each calendar year? Couldn't we start in like a really good spring or summer season and go from there? The answer is, I'm not going to try thinking about that. Trying to reach anything resembling an
You're not
objective
gonna be able to do
answer
it.
to this question is, as far as I'm concerned, a mug's game. And I say that as someone who has foolishly tried to do so thrice. So why am I still here asking it then? Partly it's because I just don't have it in me to make that top 10 list on top of all the other stuff that I'm working on for the new year, but I still want to look back at the great anime that came out in 2018. But mostly it's because with it all over, I still can't shake that question from my mind. I've got this feeling in my gut that we just went through a landmark banner year for anime that will be talked about for years to come. Though maybe not in the same way as great years of the past. And mostly to get it all off my chest, I want to make my case as to why I think that is. It's not just that I personally enjoyed a lot of shows this year, or that I saw a lot of positive buzz from you guys online about it. That is part of it, though, because what made 2018 so great in my eyes isn't that the shows were good, per se, but that they were wildly varied in how they were good. Everyone has different tastes.
Everything had different stuff going on, animation style, the genre,
the widest range of people had
characters.
The best chance of falling in love with it.
There was so many stuff I was watching last year that was so different. I loved it.
2018 was that year. Action fans of all stripes were spoiled for choice between Devilman, Planet With, Gridman, Megalobox, Review Starlight, Slime Incarnation, How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, Release the Spice, Sirius, Karakuri Circus, Anglemwa, Hakata Tonkotsu Ramens, Goblin Slayer, Banana Fish, and Double Decker, just to name some
as well,
of the options. I think both those looking for fun, over-the-top action, and grittier fare were well served. Even if you hated some of those shows, others were probably right up your alley. Likewise, if you're a fan of romance, Odakoi, Tadakun, Bloom Into You, After the Rain, As Miss Beelzebub Likes It, Irozuku, Boarding School Juliet, High Score Girl, Bunny Girl Senpai, and Takagi-san all had the potential to make your heart flutter, and I think all of them did a really good job of exploring different kinds of relationships with very different tones. Fans of more adult humor could find plenty to laugh at in Asobi Asobase, Grand Blue, and Pop Team Epic, while those looking for something in the painfully relatable vein were well served by Agretsuko, Tonegawa, Honda-san, and Odakoi again. And for jokes on the goofier end of the spectrum, Last Period, Hisamaso, Cells at Work, Zombieland Saga, and Hinamatsuri were all phenomenal in their own ways. And I could go on, because no matter what you were looking for...
No one's talking about Angels of Death. I really enjoyed Angels of Death.
Drama,
except for the last
fantasy,
episode.
Isekai, sci-fi, sports, food porn, regular porn, music, art, gaming, edutainment, yaoi, yuri, mecha, kaiju, idols, zombies, you name it.
There was everything.
I all but guarantee there was at least one new show this year that executed on it really well. That meant that no matter what taste they might have or what subject matter they might be interested in, just about anyone looking to get into anime this year had a good chance of finding something that was right up their alley.
Definitely.
Likewise, just about every existing anime fan probably found at least one new show a season to keep them happy. And that's before we even consider all of the great franchises that continued this year. 2018 brought with it a lot of high-profile sequels and spin-offs for popular recent anime. A few more obscure shows like Saiki Kusuo and Hozuki no Reitetsu, and a decent number of old-school classics like Cardcaptor Sakura, Steins Gate, Full Metal Panic, and Fooly Cooly that were long thought dead. Also, Lupin's still going strong, so even on the off chance that none of those new shows spoke to you, I'd say the odds were pretty good that you'd be happy with a follow-up to something you already liked. Unless you were exclusively a Tokyo Ghoul fan, in which case this year was only cause for more sadness.
I need
Looking
to
back at
catch up on
years with lots of exciting new series like 2006 and 2007, there generally wasn't as much to keep fans of all but the biggest existing franchises engaged. And those years where we did get to enjoy a lot of good sequels tended to be lacking in big jumping on points for newer anime viewers. In my opinion, 2018 struck the best balance between those extremes of just about any year on record. So I think I'm pretty safe in assuming that just about everyone who likes anime was happy with some segment of the industry's output this year. I don't want to put words in anyone's mouths, so if you thought 2018 sucked, by all means let me know in the comments, but in all of the communities I'm part of online, a general sense of satisfaction seems to be the consensus. But beyond 2018 having a lot of good anime, I was impressed by just how many felt great to me. I'd be willing to bet that a lot of you watching this walked away from this year with 2 or 3 new all-time favorites at least. As for me, Planet With is now my second or third favorite mecha anime. A Place Further Than the Universe has definitely become my favorite cute girls doing cute things anime of all time. Agretsuko, Hinamatsuri, and Asobi Asabase are all now in my top 20 comedies. Otakoi and Bunny Girl Senpai are both in my top 5 romance anime. My Hero Academia is like third on my list of shonen battle fare after FMA and Yu Yu Hakusho. And while I don't have a box that I can easily throw Devilman Crybaby, Megalobox, or Violet Evergarden into, damn, I love those shows too. Also, Part 5 might become my favorite JoJo, and Run with the Wind and Slime and Carnation are inching their way up my sports and isekai top list respectively, but those are all less than halfway done, so I'll have to wait to see where they go from here. And even without counting those, I loved more shows this year than I liked in many others. You may not agree with me on some or all of those shows, just like I won't agree with you on your favorites, but I'm willing to bet that you had a few favorites from this year regardless of your tastes. I'm not going to be giving any awards to Goblin Slayer, but I know a lot of you are holding it up as one of the best things you've ever seen.
It was brilliant.
I have people constantly telling me that I've got to cover Golden Kamui or Karakuri Circus because they're amazing, even though in my opinion, they're both just pretty good. For me, Uzumaide's lolicon pandering is gross and off-putting in a way that I just can't get past, but I can appreciate that the show itself has impeccable comedic direction and production values, and I've seen people who aren't bothered by those aspects. I
watched the first episode of Uzumaide and thought it was quite funny, but never carried on with it.
Conversely, the subject matter and writing of Planet With are absolutely gripping for me, and I love its storyboarding and sound design, but I can acknowledge that other aspects of its production, especially its animation,
the CG with the
with other shows this year, and I can absolutely see how other people would find it to be underwhelming if they place more importance on those aspects or they just don't enjoy how it's written. Or, well, those are kind of apples to oranges, so for a closer point of comparison, Gun Gale Alternative is the first time in a long time that I've really enjoyed SAO. Well, aside from some fun and fleeting fantasy elements, Alicization has been a cavalcade disappointment for me. But I know that a lot of SAO fans feel the exact opposite way toward the two series. Just like everybody has certain genres and subject matter that interest them more than others, everybody values different things in what they watch. When the anime community was smaller and releases were more targeted toward the small niche of people who already liked anime, it was easier for people to reach a consensus on what the best stuff was. Nowadays, with so many different kinds of people watching anime and so many more options to watch, the conversation has many more variables. The topic of conversation changes much more quickly as well. I've argued before that it's harder for shows to be enshrined as classics within the community's ever-changing simulcast diet than it was in the days of slow imports and limited fan subs. Now, you might disagree with me on that point, but just think about it this way. Aside from this video, when's the last time that you heard someone in your anime circle talking about Maiden Abyss or Yuri on Ice? Now, when's the last time someone brought up Gurren Lagann? To me, it's
and my friends talk about
Gurren Lagann all the time. There's been a change in how we watch and discuss anime, and in light of that, if I'm being perfectly honest, I don't think that the historical record will fully vindicate what I'm arguing in this video. You can look back to 2006, 2007, or 2011 and say, damn, look at all those shows that everyone's still talking about. And it feels as close to a factual, fair, objective metric for answering the question of which year was the best year for anime as I think you can get. We probably won't be able to look back at 2018 or any year following it in quite the same way. But what I think we will be able to do individually is look back at this year and say, damn, so many of my favorite anime came out that year. And while the exact anime that each of us pictures while we do that will vary wildly, I expect that more otaku will be thinking that about this year than just about any one before it. Of course, as a metric for judging the validity of my argument, that is completely impossible to quantify or prove. But in my defense, I did say at the start of this video that I don't have a truly satisfactory answer to the question I'm posing. I really did just make this video mostly for the sake of getting it off my chest and to start a conversation. I am really curious what all of you think. Do you agree that 2018 was the best year for anime to date, or at least
I think it's hard to say, but there's a lot, like you said, there's a lot of good shows came out in 2018.
If you do think I'm wrong, what year would you you hold up as anime's best? And if you agree with me, or if you don't, what were your favorite anime this year? I'm especially curious to hear what my fellow AniTubers think. Sorry, I know that's a lot of questions, but 2018 has given me a lot to unpack.
Darling the Franxx is one of my favourites.
If you're wondering when the best OPs list will be out, that is coming.
And I'm worried because
soon,
I want to react to his worst of 2018, and on the thumbnail I think he's got Darling the Franxx on there.
Less good parts of last year, as well as a look at a few of the most exciting shows on the horizon. So please hit the subscribe button to make sure that you stay tuned for all of that and more. Because regardless of what you think of 2018, I'm going to be working hard to make 2019 Mother's Basement's best year yet.
Yeah?
I'm Jeff Fu, professional shitbag, wishing you a happy new year.
Oh. Signing out from his mother's basement. That was cool. I like it. I'm really looking forward to 2019. Like, there's so many decent shows that I want to like start already this week. Like, there's loads of episode 1s. Shield Hero episode 1's available to watch, and the one in between Fate Zero and Unlimited Blade Works. First episode's available on that. And yeah, that time I got Reincarnated Slimes starting back up. Room in the Wind starting back up. Yeah. Oh, Dr. Stone this year, and Promised Neverland, and yeah. It's going to be a good year. Again, like, hopefully we'll have as good high quality stuff as we had this year. It's cool. Yeah, I like it. That was a good look back. Bit different to Gigux, but I like it. Cool. Thank you guys very much for watching. What did you guys think of that? What did you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys. It's all you guys. Near them.